All right, YouTube. You wanted the best, and you've got the best. The funniest man in the world, the greatest truth teller who ever lived. Give it up right now for the one, the only, Jake the Awake. Hey, what's up? We're back. Bada bing, bada boom. We're back in business. Wah! Yeah, 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 yeah. Wah! Yeah, 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 yeah. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah! I've been taking karate lessons, obviously. Just kidding. I was self-taught how to do that karate. I taught myself. All right. It's like I'm taking lessons from me, Mr. Miyagi. What's up? Got Ralphie here. It's Wednesday night instead of Tuesday night. I think we're going to do a Wednesday stream from now on because I do my football video on Tuesday, and to try and finish the football video and do a stream just turned into a giant pain in my ass. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a Wednesday night stream. Takes care of that problem, doesn't it? Some of you guys might prefer Wednesday. So here it is, Wednesday night stream. We're going to kick it off. Get this bitch into gear. There we go. Nice and blue like I like it. How's everybody doing out there? Rose Bell, I see's in the house. She's saying hi to Rumford. Rumford said the light in the back is pretty cool. Oh, well, thank you. I got that from Amazon for $30. So it's like a bargain light, but it's got a bunch of like different modes and stuff, you know, all sorts of different modes and whatnot. See, I think that one's kind of cool. All right, now I can make it go slower. I can make it go faster. All right, it's pretty neat, huh? Not bad for a $30 light. Then I stuck my hat on top of there so that people know that the hat is still here. And every once in a while, I'll go grab it and put it on my head. All right, so there you go. Let's go with blue. All right. Ralph is here. He just made his appearance, and now he's going to go into nap mode. Yep. He's already curled up and going to sleep. Checking out. All right. So before we even got the show kicked off, I had like 3 super chats come in, which is awesome. Always appreciate super chat love before the stream even starts. Had one come in from Simpy, or a couple come in from Simpy to Simp. I'm going to go back and grab those super chats right there. All right. So Simpy to Simp said, "Hey, Jake, always a nice surprise to see you are going live. Please do Beavis interpreting for Stephen Hawkins, the Beavis from Beavis and Butthead." Like, what other Beavis would there be? Like, to my knowledge, like, I'm like the only famous Beavis. Yeah, you have a really stupid name, Beavis. People think that your name is stupid. No way. People think your name is stupid, Butthead. No way. My name is cool. I'm Butthead. Yeah, I'm like the one that they think of first. So like this chick, I think it's a chick, wants me to like Actually, this chick wants you to do an impression, Beavis. An interpretation. Really? Cool. So who am I going to be doing my interpretation of? For this old guy named Stephen Hawking. I think he said like he wants to score with a hot chick. And he wants the hot chick to have really big thingies. Oh yeah, boy. No way, Beavis. That's not what he said. I'm pretty sure he said, oh. He didn't say anything about scoring with any chicks, you monkey spank. No way. This is my interpretation, and I'm pretty sure, like, when he was mumbling, he was saying he wants to score with a really hot chick with big thingies, and he said that right now he's got morning wood. Yeah. No way, Beavis. He's in a wheelchair. Everybody knows people in wheelchairs can't get morning wood. Oh yeah. I forgot. So, like, does he have anything else he needs Beavis to interpret before we leave? He says, like, his favorite band is Metallica, and, like, he wants you guys to, like, send him money so, like, he can buy Metallica tickets. And I think he said he wants to take his best friend Beavis to the Metallica show. Yeah. He said he wants it to be a front row ticket. Yeah, that'd be cool. There you go. There you go. Gave you a little Beavis and Butthead. Hopefully I came through for you. All right. And that was, of course, Beavis interpreting for old Stephen Hawking with the before he got the talking box. So for those of you who remember, Stephen Hawking used to mumble and he would have a human interpreter. And then he got the robot talking voice. And ever since I made fun of Stephen Hawking's by having celebrity interpreters for old Stephen Hawking, I now get these requests to do interpretations for Stephen Hawking. So anybody wondering what that's all about, there's actually a video on my channel. It's got me and Stephen Hawking in the thumbnail. So if you want to go back and check that video out, ever since that happened, people have been asking me to do interpretations for Stephen Hawking. All right, let's see here. We got another super chat before the stream even started from Zach Hates YouTube. Said, give that Ralphie dog a bone. Well, I actually got him some bones right here, right? So I bought some soup bones a couple nights ago. And then last night I let him simmer on low heat like all night long until all the connective tissue and fat came off, and there was little pieces left on there, and I gave him the bones, and he got every little piece of tissue off there, licked it clean. So there ain't much on there that he probably wants anymore, but he just had some bones last night. In fact, he had 4 bones. So I got some awesome beef tallow with some collagen and bone broth. So I got me some good beef tallow bone broth juice. It's going to be really tasty. So, yep, Ralph had his bone fill last night for sure. So thank you very much, Zach Hates YouTube. Ralphie appreciates it as well. And Simpy to Simp sent another super chat saying another bone for the great Ralphie. Oh, well, he really appreciates it, even though he's sleeping right now. He checked out early on in the stream, but he totally appreciates the super chat. Thank you very much. Simpy to Simp. And then one more from Simpy to Simp said, matey, I think I'm going to flake, so sending a super chat to support your channel and community. Hope you bring tears of joy as always. We'll listen tomorrow. So I'm not sure if this is a dude or a chick, but to whoever it is, Simpy to Simp, we really, really appreciate the super chats. I know here on the West Coast, it's still early. It's only like 6 o'clock, whereas people on the East Coast, it's 9 o'clock. But then people over in Europe, it's like way past their bedtime. So I realize for some people, when I stream, it's really late. And so a lot of people have to catch me the next day. So, hey, as long as you guys catch the replay and enjoy at least some of what I'm doing here, then it's a success for me. And a success for you. It's a success for all of y'all motherfuckers. All right. We starting off successful tonight. Got 3 super chats that came in before I even kicked off the show. You guys are the best audience in the world. I've said it a million bazillion times. First Amendment with the first super chat since the show has started. Says, can you make it green for its good ganja I'm smoking? Make it green for the good ganja, huh? All right. Bang, bang. There you go. Who's got the herb? That's what they're always asking. Who's got the herb? That's what the young ones tell me. There's a little classic 311 for you. If anyone remembers that jam, if you're a classic 90s stoner, you probably recognize that jam. All right. I'm rigged with the donation. Said, been binge watching AJ Greatest Moments, drinking and smoking buddy for show. He's hilarious. You're talking about Alex Jones, I'm guessing. Now, folks, as you know, classic Alex Jones, he had a lot of intensity when he spoke. He would look right in the camera lens and he'd say, you frickin' deep state, you will not be successful in overthrowing this beautiful country. We shall stand behind Trump and we're going to kick your friggin' ass, turning these goddamn frogs gay. Let me tell you what, before Trump leaves office, he's going to turn all these frogs back straight again. Mark my words, folks, you're going to see female and male frogs fornicating like they used to. Back in the 80s, frogs used to fuck naturally before all these goddamn deep state frickin' frackers took over. But now we have subdued, castrated Alex Jones who wants to sit in his car and cry. And he makes these weird faces. New Alex Jones, folks. New Alex Jones, played by Will Sasso, most likely. Gonna puke. Just thinking about the whole thing makes me want to cry because I miss classic Alex Jones. Makes me want to freaking puke and cry at the same time. All right. Well, the fudge was that. Thank you, I'm rigged, for giving me the inspiration to do that. Krager coming in with a super chat and a super sticker, or a super chat that is a super sticker. Awesome. Thank you, Krager, giving me the thumbs up with the super sticker. I appreciate that. And Simpy to Simp said, dude, I'm a man. Damn, did I sound a bit fruity? Well, the name Simpy to Simp, I don't know. It was like I couldn't tell if it was a chick or a dude or what. So I didn't want to make an assumption. So I did some fishing. And now I've confirmed that you are a man. He's a man, baby. Ooh, yes. A man. All right. Good times. Simpy to Simp is a man, y'all. All right. Glad you didn't flake and that you caught caught that me reading your super chats, clarified that you're a man. Hell yeah. Now we can start the show without any confusion. Kreger coming in with another super chat. Then start crying. Alex the Weepy, AJ. Folks, this is what it looks like when a very proud conspiracy theorist is crying like a little bitch. Well, boo, freaking hoo. Ow, makes me so freaking sad. Trump can't stop these freaking deep state bastard son of a bitch. Oh, boo. Oh, well, freaking who? About to puke. All right. I love you guys. We're starting out with impressions tonight because of you guys. You know, we had somebody asking me to do a Beavis interpretation for Stephen Hawking, and then a guy bringing up Alex Jones. So starting off tonight with some impressions, getting my my phony bones working. I'm getting my funny bones working. Yeah, that's right. I see some laughing emojis out there and some LOLs. I think that means I'm doing my job. Yes, rest in peace to the old AJ. All right, I think I'm caught up now on the super chats. All right, so now we can get this party started. So tonight, I thought we would start by talking about the interstellar object. Did you guys know there's a interstellar object out there in Magic Floaty Land? Yeah, you know, if you like go up high enough, you leave the planet's surface and then you start floating. Yeah, and out there in Magic Floaty Land, there's like other planets and other suns, you know, millions and trillions of light years away and all that stupid shit that they tell us. Yeah, check it out. So this is like, you know, headline news now, this interstellar object. They're calling it 3I Atlas. It looks like 31 Atlas, but apparently it's 3I Atlas. And all the different organizations are talking about it, you know, like, will the 3-1 Atlas or 3I Atlas hit Earth? Comet 3I Atlas poses no threat to Earth. It will remain far away. The closest it will approach our planet is about 1.8 astronomical units, about 170 million miles. Oh, well, then nothing to be worried about. But not so fast. There's a bunch of information coming out from so-called experts that this is doing weird non-comet-like things, and that it might be alien technology. Yeah, they're pulling out the stops on this one, you guys. So it's getting a lot of attention, this fake space bullshit, and anything pertaining to outer space is pretty much for sure going to be bullshit, because outer space travel in and of itself is bullshit. What they tell us about stars, that they're distant suns, that's bullshit. What they tell us about the Earth being a planet, that's bullshit. If you go up far enough that you start floating, yeah, that's bullshit. So everything that they tell us about outer space, pretty much 99.99999% of the time is going to be bullshit. So that's what we're going to be looking into tonight, is a big pile of bullshit. But they're pulling out some of their big actors on the world stage for this one. So as you guys can see, a lot of talk about this 3I Atlas if you just Google it, just to show you what a simple Google search is showing up. So we'll watch a couple videos about this comet or alien technology, and then we'll talk about what it really is. All right. So we'll start with Start with this video that came out recently from Stephen Burns, who I had never heard of, but he got a bunch of views on this video about the 3-eye atlas. Looks like he's got a lot of CGI to show us. Simpy to Simp said, I don't think normal people care about the atlas thing. It's beyond BS. So check it out. They have Joe Rogan talking about it, and they have Neil deGrasse talking about it, and there's a bunch of different reports on it now. So for whatever reason, they're allocating a lot of resources to this fake space shit. And so I started my channel 10 years ago, breaking down fake space shit and talking about the fact that the Earth isn't a ball. So this is like right up my alley as far as like going back to my roots. Like if they're going to talk about some fake space shit in the mainstream news and they're going to use Joe Rogan and Neil deGrasse to push this shit, well, then I'll take a gander at it, poke some fun. I mean, why not, right? It's what I do. If they're going to try and pass off some fake space shit, whether the public is buying into it or not, which the public believes everything that they're told, right? They may not care about it. So you're probably right. The public in general doesn't care about this, but they do believe it. When they're told about this shit, they generally will believe it. And if this subject is brought up, they'll recall what they heard Joe Rogan talking about or what they saw on the nightly news. And they will parrot that as if it's the truth. Looks like I missed one from someone else who sent a super chat wanting me to do, it looks like a Trump impression or something. Let's see what we got. And then we'll start the show and get into our first clip. I'm Rigged said, Trump glitching from a train of thought to I want to go to heaven. So as I've been telling you, we've been working really hard at getting Trumptricity implemented into all of your homes. And that's why I had to cut off the SNAP benefits. People think that they're losing benefits. No, you're going to be gaining Trumptricity. We're going to be saving millions and millions and billions and billions. And that's why I'm maybe not getting into heaven. So I may not be getting into heaven because I was forced to cut off the SNAP benefits. I had no choice. Trumptricity is what matters most, and that is why you're fired. And the reason why you're fired is because of China. Some people might think that I am an AI version of Trump, but that is really ridiculous. Disregard any glitches that you see. It's this new medication that I have been taking. In fact, I recommend everybody go out and get your medication. Do it. Take it. It's wonderful. It's because of China. There you go. Trump glitching just for you. All right, so let's get into this show with this first video about the the 3-eye atlas comet / alien technology spaceship rock thingy. I'm sure he'll let us know what it is. This guy looks like he's really smart. He's got some CGI behind him. This guy looks like he knows what's up with this interstellar object. All right, y'all, let's get ready to learn.
Hey everyone, geophysicist Stefan Burns here. Today is the critical day. The perihelion of interstellar object 3-eye atlas is closest approach to the sun. And, well, there's a few possibilities as to what could occur now and going forward into the future. It could continue along its trajectory just like normal. Effectively, it's some sort of space rock or interstellar comet of unusual properties.
Yeah, guys, look. There it is. That's clearly it right there. See? See that right there in the center of the screen? It's a little bit small, but that's clearly an interstellar object, you guys. I mean, anyone who's ever seen an interstellar object knows that that's exactly, precisely what they look like.
A, it's some sort of space rock or interstellar comet of unusual properties. B, it could perform an Oberth maneuver, which means it could change its trajectory using that gravitational slingshot of the sun. It puts on a really big reverse thrust sequence. It could redirect to Earth. It would have
You guys, it's probably not going to hit Earth. It's going to come about like 170 trillion billion mctillion miles away from almost hitting Earth. But it might put on a reverse thruster effect and then use gravity, of course, magical gravity, to slingshot in the direction of Earth. And then, of course, if that happens, we might have a problem. Then we might all die. So we have to hope that that doesn't happen so that we don't all die. I think that's what he's going to say.
Have to do a pretty severe reverse thrust to do that based off of our orbital alignments, but it's possible. Or it could do a very slight Oberth maneuver, if it is of alien or technological origin, to redirect to Jupiter and its moon system, which is what I explored in this video here. Definitely give that a watch. If 3i Atlas is of alien or technological origin, that is what I think is the most likely outcome for it to do. But even if it doesn't do any of these things, and that is my base case, it still has some very interesting things that it is going to participate in over the next few months, specifically in early January. It has its closest approach to Earth on December 19th. And then we have this incredible planetary geometry that forms on the 6th through 10th of January. Specifically, January 9th looks like the most precise alignment.
Oh, well, this guy sounds like he really knows his stuff, you guys. I mean, he's got all this CGI to show us, you know. Clearly, that's what the sun looks like. This is to scale, of course. And this is definitely a good depiction of the cosmos. All right, so this is the type of stuff that you get from supposed experts like Stephen Burns. 555,000 subscribers, 21,000 thumbs up on this, almost 400,000 views in only 9 hours. Shit, this one's probably going to go over 1 million, right? So that's how you get big view counts. You just flash people some CGI. Talk about an interstellar object. Right? Show people this crap on screen.
Origin, that is what I think is the most likely outcome for it to
That's what it looks like.
do. But even if it doesn't do any of these things, and that is my base case.
All right, so now we know what this guy says. I don't got a shill for NASA, but he does. Simpy to Simp says, sorry for trolling you and the amazing community with super chats. When I can, I love to support the channel of amazingness. You are not trolling me at all. Simpy to Simp, I really, sincerely, genuinely appreciate what you have done here so far, sending these super chats. So it's your guys' generosity. You awesome subs. Your super chats directly support this channel, help keep me afloat, right? So I got bills to pay just like anybody. You know, I got to feed my face and Ralph's face. And so your guys' support through the super chats directly benefits me and my pup Ralphie and allows me to continue to do this. And when you support guys like me, you're supporting the real, genuine comedian, the real, genuine truth teller, right? So AI is taking over. As you guys have seen, AI is running amok on this platform, but you still got me a real genuine dude, speaking from the heart, making up this show on the spot, creating real genuine comedy based on oftentimes what you guys are suggesting. So this is one of the last places, if not the last place, where genuine comedy exists. So thank you for supporting me and this channel, Simpy to Simp. And it looks like I got more support coming in. You guys are awesome tonight. Trout Fishing at Hood Park says, show us whatever, tell us what it is, get us to nod. Yeah, so we're going to hear a lot of different theories about this 3-eye atlas. And they're breaking out some of the big wigs like Joe Rogan, right? Joe Rogan's a member of the big club, has been for years, has a huge audience. So they got Joe Rogan talking about this shit. We'll get to that soon. And of course, Neil deGrasse Tyson, world-renowned astrophysicist with a emphasis on the ass more than the astrophysicist part. Yeah, so they're breaking out some of their big guns to push this 3-eye atlas shit. So I figure we might as well break it down. Generate a few laughs out of this dog and pony show. Thank you very much, Trout Fishing at Hood Park. All right, let's get back to the show. Well, actually, let's get rid of this guy and let's go to... let's see what Neil, actually, let's start with Joe's video, and then we'll work our way to Neil deGrasse.
And
Joe is the bigger puppet on the world stage. He's got a big audience still. Not as big as a few years ago, but he's still got a big audience nonetheless. God damn it. I need to get rid of... or I need to get the YouTube Premium so I don't have to deal with these commercials. All right, here we go.
An experience.
Things are getting very wild.
yeah, there is
Just before we start, over 1 million views in one day, 24,000 thumbs up, and the title, Comet or Alien Craft. Or Alien Craft, right? It's either a comet, boring, or an alien craft. Ooh, clickety click, 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 right? So that's your clickbait right there. Alien craft, question mark. Harvard physicist. Oh, you know you can trust this guy. He's from Harvard, you guys. Warns of a mysterious interstellar object. So this guy's obviously not going to come on here. This guy right here is obviously not going to come on here and promote that it's just a boring comet, right? He's going to go on Joe Rogan's show, and he's probably going to say some stupid shit like it's an alien craft. We'll hear him out. We'll see what he has to say.
a lot of misinformation. You know, some people said I invented 3-eye atlas, this object, in order to distract attention from the Epstein files.
Is that what people are saying?
Yeah, and I said, look,
Okay, first off, this guy has a shit-eating grin on his face. First thing I noticed, like 5 seconds in, this guy has like, some people think that I invent the 3-eye atlas to distract you from the Epstein files. As anyone with a brain will tell you, the Epstein files is some made-up shit by the government, and they use the mainstream media to push this notion that there's these files that has all this juicy information, and don't you wish that they would release those files? So people are out there begging that the government release these juicy files that they're withholding from us. So they got citizens literally begging, hoping that maybe tonight's the night that those juicy Epstein files are going to be released. Meanwhile, it's some shit made up by the government, pushed by the mainstream media to get idiots to beg for it, right? Oh, we're finally going to get to hear what went on Epstein's island. So already what's coming out of this guy's mouth before he even gets into this three-eye atlas, he's pushing the Epstein story, keeping that in people's mind.
Misinformation. Some people said I invented three-eye atlas, this object, in order to distract attention from the Epstein files.
Is that what people are saying?
Yeah, and I said, look, this object is the size of Manhattan Island. It's at 4.5 times the Earth-Sun separation. If I was able to put it out there, I would be more powerful than the Pope. And because we're talking about a giant object that you can see from any place on Earth. You can buy online a telescope that will allow you 0.5 meter in size that will allow you to see it.
It's the size of Manhattan, according to this guy, and anyone can see it. Now, you know what you're going to look at? You're going to look at a dot in the sky. There's lots of different lights in the sky. Ain't none of them what they fucking say that they are. So you can go look at any star in the sky, and this guy will say, oh, yes, that is a burning ball of gas, 66.6 million miles away, light years, of course, right? And it's like, it ain't even that. So the stars aren't burning balls of gas. So they lie about that. Those other planets, those aren't actual places that you can go to and land a rocket. Like Mars is not a red desert land, rocky planet that you can go land rovers and men on. It's just like a red twinkly star, right? So the Mars is like a red twinkly dot, and the stars are just twinkly dots. So they get you to believe these twinkly dots in the sky are distant fireballs, and that there's other planets that they can land stuff on, and that have a landscape and mountains and ice and yada yada yada. When really, you're just looking at some twinkly dots, man. So if you really think about it, like your perspective as a human, you look up, you see some twinkly dots. You put the telescope on it, you just see a bigger twinkly dot, right? You don't see the desert landscape. You don't see volcanoes and shit on any of those planets and shit like what they show you from their observatories. So what you can see is some twinkly dots. So they got this guy talking about how it's as big as Manhattan, right? Oh, it is the size of Manhattan, and anyone can see it. So therefore, it is a fact that everything I am saying is true about this object.
Out there, it cannot be faked.
Well, those people are fools. You can't listen to them.
It cannot be faked. Well, those people are fools. Oh, thanks, Joe. And of course, you guys know Joe Rogan used to say that the moon landing was fake. But then he got cucked out on his own program when Neil deGrasse Tyson, who we're going to see later on tonight, Neil deGrasse Tyson came on this program, on Joe's podcast, told him that the moon landing is for sure real. And Joe flip-flopped his stance, right? He infamously flip-flopped from moon landing denier to a moon landing believer. And he let Neil deGrasse Tyson basically cuck him out on his own show. And here he is, taking the stance that anyone is a fool if they don't believe that there's a rock the size of Manhattan that might hit Earth.
You can see from any place on Earth. You can buy online a telescope that will allow you 0.5 meter in size that will allow you to see it. It's out there. It cannot be faked.
So if you buy a telescope and you see a dot in the sky, a little tiny light in the sky, it's for sure an interstellar object the size of Manhattan that might hit Earth. It can't be faked because you can buy a telescope and see a dot. You see how that works? Anyone can buy a telescope and see a little tiny dot in the sky. So therefore, it cannot be fake. And anything that come out of my mouth, you must believe me, because you can see a dot in the telescope. Right. Yes, because if you can see the dot, then of course it must be the size of Manhattan and all this other shit that you're saying too, of course.
Well, those people are fools. You can't listen to those people.
And you can't listen to anyone who thinks any different, because those people are fools, according to the most popular podcast show host in the world.
I don't listen to those. I don't listen to many people, you know.
Initially, a lot of people were dismissing your concerns, and they were saying that this object is nothing but a comet, and it's very normal. But then as it got closer and as we got more data, it seems like you're correct.
So a lot of people thought that you like were stupid and they didn't want to listen to you. But like now we have more data, we have more bullshit. So now people think that now you're correct. Yes, this is true. There were people that thought that maybe I was wrong, but then the data that come out, it showed that I was right. Fascinating. Right. Wow, what a wonderful interview this is so far. This guy's so cutting edge. I can see why he's the most popular podcaster in the world. All right, I got a super chat again from Simpy to Simp with some awesome support tonight. Thank you very much again, Simpy to Simp, for all your super chat support. He says, Mr. Rogan, imagine we literally used to think he was a real person. All he does now is promote some health supplements. He's bored of it. You can tell also. I'm going to try to sleep. Have a good stream, bro. Hey, thank you for staying up as long as you have and supporting the show so much tonight. Greatly appreciated, Simpy to Simp. And yeah, I used to like Joe Rogan more so when he was like thinner, non-UFC Joe Rogan. It almost seemed like a different guy. Like if you go back and look at pre-UFC Joe Rogan, like Fear Factor Joe Rogan, it seems almost like it could be a different dude. So I'm not saying for sure Joe Rogan got replaced along the way, but it's like a different guy back then. Once he got with the UFC, it started to go downhill quickly. And then once he became like Mr. Podcaster, like most popular podcaster in the world, and then they started hooking him up with mainstream guests. Well, basically, then he just became like the new age Johnny Carson, Jay Leno, basically, right? So the late night guys, you know, their time came and went, and so then it transferred into this podcast style, and so they basically took the same format of the late night guys interviewing mainstream pop culture guests, and then they just had Joe be that guy, right? For a new generation of fans who don't realize that they're basically watching the exact same shit that their parents were watching with fucking Johnny Carson interviewing different celebrity guests. All right. Thank you, Simpy the Simp. And I got one from AF, said, Jake, September 7, October 8th, December 10. Why are September, October, and December 9, 10, 12 months of the year? I don't know what you're asking. Oh, yeah, because octo means 8, and then you got October, but it's not the 8th month. Yeah, I guess like they have like a real calendar, and then they give us a fake calendar, and they have like a real New Year's Day that's different than the one that they give us to celebrate. So yeah, for all I know, it could be the middle of next week, or it could be last year. It could be 1984, or it could be the year 69 sextillion. I have no idea. All I know is I'm living in the now. So as far as why they named October what they did and have it not be the 8th month, I have no idea. if the person who came up with this confusing deal where they named it what they did was here, I'd kick that guy in the balls. How's that? If the guy who named all that shit that you're talking about was here right now, I'd kick him in the balls just for you. AF. Yeah. October should be the 8th month, right? September should be 7th. Yeah. December should be 10th. But since they're not, it sucks. So screw whoever came up with all that shit. There. Now that we've got that taken care of. Christopher asks if Joe Rogan is a younger version of Aleister Crowley. Maybe. Maybe he like put his consciousness into Joe Rogan's body. Was reborn into Joe Rogan's body. Right? I mean, clearly, some people start off looking human, and then by the time they get old, they just totally look like a demon. Like, for instance, I don't want to get off topic too much, but like Madonna looks more like a demon now than a lady or a man. Like current Madonna is just like, here, we'll just switch away from this real quick. Check it out. Here's someone that doesn't even look like a human anymore. Just looks like a freak show, right? Like that just looks like a demon. That's not a lady. That's not a man. That's a freaking demon. A demonic shape-shifting entity. You can see right here. It's not human. Definitely some sort of satanic reptilianoid. Definitely demonic. Right? All right, let me get back to the video. I almost started to get off track there. All right.
Well,
This is a very unusual object.
There is something really important to recognize here, that usually when you deal with scientific matters, they have very little impact on the future of humanity. Very little. You know, if the neutrino has a little bit of a mass, doesn't really matter. You know, when we discovered the Higgs boson, the biggest impact was to confirm some idea we had back in the 60s. And, you know, obviously that affected, those people who got the Nobel Prize. But most of us continued as if nothing happened. However, here, if we ever encounter alien technology, everything will change. It will affect the financial markets. It will affect politics in a major way. So my point is simple. This is different than other scientific matters.
This time it is different. If we encounter alien technology, it will change everything. Bingo! I knew we were going to get to this part. Comet or alien craft. Now here he is talking about if this light in the sky, this dot in your telescope is alien technology. Well, then everything changes, right? So we're going to get to that in just a second. We got a super chat from Kreger. Said, burning balls and gas are dangerous mix. If you ever lit a fart, then you'd know. Oh, yeah, you know, if you go lighting your farts, then you are destined to singe your ball hairs, right? Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. I light my farts and it rattles my brain. I lit my balls on fire and I singed my brain. Oh, what a thrill. It fucking smelled. Goodness gracious. Lit my balls on fire. Hey! All right. Sorry. Had to do it. Had to do it. Suzette Ann said, Jake, will you please give us the name, brand, and model number, and perhaps the link to that cool log stick you got from Amazon? Okay. I think if I pull up my Amazon account, I could probably figure out exactly what it was that I bought. All right. See, it was this one right here. So we got it for $25.50. And it had a bunch of good reviews. Almost everybody was giving it the 5 stars. And a shitload of people have been buying it. So, yeah. This is the one. There you go. Pretty sure that was the last one I got. Yep, that was the one I bought. Okay. There you go, Suzette Ann. So hopefully you enjoy it if you buy one. And Simpy to Simp says, bro, I work on a nuclear fusion environmental project with lots of domestic agencies around the quote unquote globe. I can place that guy's accent. It really sounds fake. Ha 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 ha. Sleep 100%. Love to all the community. Yeah, you keep saying you're going to go to sleep, but then you stick around and you send me another super chat. So I think as long as I keep being entertaining and saying funny stuff, I'm going to keep you up all night. That's right, Simpy to Simp. I'm just going to be so damn entertaining, you're just not going to be able to go to sleep. Thank you again for the super chat. I really appreciate that. And Jared the Ross says, there's aliens in Uranus. Wow, I think you're the first guy I've ever heard make a joke out of the planet Uranus and then refer to it as if it's a person's anus. Have you guys ever heard anyone do that before? This guy is seriously an original comedian of the highest caliber. All right. Looks like I missed a couple super chats. I see I got one from Kevin Arnold coming in, but before that, I missed one. Somebody saying something about Bill Cooper. Resurrectmans says Bill Cooper spoke of this in Behold a Pale Horse. Yeah, but Bill Cooper is another gatekeeper shill, right? So you can't really trust him either. But you can totally trust me. I'm going to break it down for you guys. I'm going to get into the alien abduction Illuminati card and the what's the other one? The flying saucer Illuminati card. I'm going to show the Illuminati cards and make the connection that they might do the fake alien invasion at any point, and they might totally try and do like Independence Day movie where like we got to team up and all our governments got to team up and become one entity to fight back against these aliens. They might try that shit. It seems too ridiculous for them to even try to pull that off, but the sheeple have shown to be so damn stupid that they could possibly pull it off, right? They could get the one world government they always wanted by doing Independence Day movie scenario. PSYOP, right? The Independence Day PSYOP. That's all they got to do. As long as they can convince half the people or more that aliens are here and we need to all band together as one human race to fight them. And that it's for the greater good for us to become one nation under God and fight these evil aliens. No matter what religion, what race you are, we are all united under the one goal of fighting these aliens, right? It's part of the Illuminati card game, right? So as ridiculous as it sounds, that's what we're going to get into next. The possibility of the fake alien invasion. Kevin Arnold from the Wonder Years come in with a super sticker. You guys are awesome tonight. I love all the support that I'm seeing through the super chats. Hell yeah. Kevin Arnold from the Wonder Years. What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you go to the prom with Winnie Cooper? My older brother Wayne, he used to beat me up as a kid. But when I got older, I fought back and kicked his ass, yeah. Kevin Arnold was a great guy on the Wonder Years. And he loved Winnie Cooper. All right. Can't help it. Got to sing it every time. Okay. Just about to start the show back up again. And then I get hit with all these super chats at once, which is awesome. James 575730 said Limp Biscuit. Man, this time I'm going to let it all come out. This time I'm going to stand up and shout. I'm going to do things my way. It's my way or the highway. Someday you'll see things my way. But you never know, and you never know when you're gonna go. You think you're special, you do. I can see it in your eyes. Man, did it all for the nookie. Man. Stick it up your man. All right. There you go. Little Fred Durst for that ass. Never know what you're going to get asked to do. Alls I know is that I do what I do. And nobody else do what I do the way I do what I do. Know what I'm saying? All right. Now, with that said, let's get back to this lion-ass piece of shit right here. So he's pushing the alien card. Let's go back and listen to it one more time.
Prize, but most of us continued as if nothing happened. However, here, if we ever encounter alien technology, everything will change. It will affect the financial markets.
If we encounter alien technology, everything will change. It will impact the financial market. Your money will be impacted if aliens show up. You hear that? It gonna impact your money. Y'all, the reason why they be taking away our SNAP benefits, and Trump ain't gonna tell you this, but the real reason why is because the aliens is coming. Y'all, I don't know if you be ready to hear this, but the motherfucking aliens are coming, and they gonna go to Walmart and they gonna steal all the food. And that's why they cutting off the EBT benefits, is because Trump actually want the aliens to steal all the food, so all us poor folks can't give nothing to our kids. All right. I think that's what's going to happen.
It will affect politics in a...
It will affect politics. Aliens showing up affects your money, and it affects politics. How about that?
Major way.
In a major way.
So my point is simple. This is different than other scientific matters.
This thing right here, this light in the sky, this 3-eye atlas is different than other political matters. Other shit doesn't matter. This shit matters. Aliens showing up matters because it's going to impact your money and it's going to impact the political situation. So that makes it more important. Duh.
And the intelligence agencies know very well that events with very small probability have to be considered seriously because they could have major implications.
You guys like what he said there? Intelligence agencies, CIA, FBI, ABC, 123, all those organizations, right? Yeah, those intelligence organizations, right? Shit, I lost my train of thought.
Know very well that events with very small probability.
Yes, events with small probability. You have to take serious precautions and plan for that. So stuff that has a small probability of happening, oh, well, you really have to seriously prepare for the fact that it might happen.
Have to be considered seriously because they could have major implications. Just think about October 7th. The Israeli intelligence agencies had a theory that the Hamas will do nothing. And they got data that indicated something is going on out there, but they dismissed it because of their theory. Now, because as a result of their mistake, which was clearly a blunder, a lot of people died on both sides. For that, this could have been avoided if they were to consider a black swan event, an event that you put a small probability for it happening, but you look at anomalies in the data and say, look, the implications are so huge, we have to consider it.
So we have to consider that this event, that there is a very small chance of it happening. We have to consider that it is very important and will mean a lot and will cause a lot of change in our society. So we have to prepare for this event. You like what he's saying? So he preferenced what he was going to say with this intelligence agencies remark. And as we all know, the intelligence agencies are here to lie to us, right? And make sure that we are not intelligent. So the job of intelligence agencies are to make sure that we, slaves at the bottom, everything that we know is wrong. And when everything that we know is wrong and all the stuff that we talk about is incorrect bullshit, that's how they know that they've done their job correctly at those intelligence agencies. So what they do at the intelligence agencies is they control people's intelligence level by actively telling people a bunch of bullshit. So everything that they think they know is all a bunch of bullshit. And that's the job of the intelligence agency. But people still think that those agencies are like policemen here to help you and protect you. So when he talked about those agencies to preference his statement, what he's really talking about are the people who actively are working against you to keep you as stupid as possible so that you never have any idea of what's actually going on. And what's actually going on, there ain't no alien spacecraft. There ain't no alien technology coming from outer space. It's not an interstellar object that could possibly hit Earth. So basically everything that this guy is pushing is bullshit. And that's part of the plan to get most people to believe in an entire reality of bullshit, right? So if they can get you to believe you live on a planet, yeah, that's wrong. Get you to believe that you're shooting through outer space, that's wrong. Get you to believe that you're revolving around the sun, that's wrong. Get you to believe that the sun is a big giant ball of burning gas, that's wrong. Get you to believe that there's other suns with planets revolving around them with life on them and that they might come visit Earth. Yeah, that's wrong too. So they get you to believe in an entire reality which doesn't exist. That's the job of these intelligence agencies. So that's what this guy's basically here pushing.
And, this idea was already considered by the philosopher mathematician Blaise Pascal. He talked about God. And he said, look, of course, you might think that God doesn't exist. The probability for that is small. But the implications, if God exists, the implications are so huge that we have to discuss it.
All right. R. Dan Jr. says, Jake, is it true the power grid on Friday? Bye-bye. I would bet money against that. Anytime anyone talks about the power grid going out, that's how they keep everybody plugged into the system. So the TV is like the greatest brainwashing tool ever. And now they've got the internet, they've got AI, they've got all these tools to keep people dumbed down. And they didn't develop all this shit and get everyone plugged in so that they can unplug everyone. So if they unplug the grid, right, then what they're going to do is cause chaos. They would cause chaos and anarchy, and people would no longer trust the government at all. And they would no longer be under the same control that they're under right now. So right now they got people willing to go vote in phony elections and lock themselves down if they claim that there's a pandemic. And they got people wanting the government to govern them even harder in some cases. So they've set it all up in a way to where they have the television there and the internet there to help keep people under control and brainwash people. So whenever someone talks about the power grid being shut off, it's like that's how they keep control over all the masses of people, is through the use of electronics in the power grid. So I would bet against it personally. Thinking that they're going to shut off their own grid that they set up for us to keep control over us is like predicting that the world is going to end. And every time somebody predicts there's going to be a rapture or the world's going to end on a certain day, it always turns out to not be true. And then they just shove the goalposts back and go, oh, well, I guess it's going to happen next year, right? Or next Friday next year. So I would bet against it. And of course, once we get Trumptricity implemented across the power grid, you're never ever going to see the power grid go bye-bye. What you're going to see go bye-bye is conventional electricity. Let me tell you something. Trumptricity is far superior than regular electricity. It's leaner, greener, meaner, cleaner, you name it. It's greater in every way, in every facet, in every way, shape, or form. Trumptricity beats conventional electricity. Now, Creepy Joe, he wanted to keep electricity running in all your homes and through the power grid. He wanted to throw Trumptricity under the rug, but we're back in business. We've almost got Trumptricity up and running. You guys are going to see a major difference when your homes are powered by Trumptricity. Your lights are going to be brighter. The skies are going to be bluer. You're going to see smiles on everybody's faces. And you know who's going to finance the whole thing? China. All right.
Was the argument, Pascal's wager, and the intelligence agencies know that. Believe me, the Israeli intelligence agencies will not make that mistake again.
All right. Looks like I'm getting a plethora of super chats coming in. Looks like I had one come in a few minutes ago. Let me go back and pull it up. And then we'll get back to the Joe Rogan podcast here. And then we'll move on to Neil deGrasse Tyson and see what he has to say. Shit. All right. So Murph says, I'm 22 and I don't know what to do. Any advice? You're 22 and don't know what to do. That's a tough time in life because you're still young. You haven't built up your bank account yet because you haven't been slaving away in the system for decades like older people have. So, yeah, when I was 22, I was struggling, still living at home with my mom. And so, Yeah, man, you got to start at the bottom and work your way up, sadly. So I would suggest you got to find something that you like to do that you can make money. And you might even have to do it for free for a while, right? So you got to figure out some skill or something that you can do to earn money that it may not be your life's passion, but something that you can at least somewhat enjoy. And yeah, it's tough for me to give you any sort of advice because I struggled when I was in my early 20s and I did a bunch of jobs and a bunch of shit that was absolutely a waste of time and useless. So I didn't get started doing what I really want to do until later in my 30s. And so, you know, for somebody that didn't get my shit together until I was in my 30s, it's tough for me to tell you what to do at 22 because when I was 22, I was still just wanting to get fucked up and score with hot chicks. Yeah, yeah. I wanted to score with hot chicks with big thingies. Yeah, yeah. Drink some beer. Right? But good luck, man. I'm sure you'll figure it out. So rather than me give you advice, you got to look inside yourself, inside your soul. Ask yourself, who do you want to be? What do you want to do? What sort of legacy do you want to leave on this hellhole? And search within yourself for the answers because I don't know your situation. I don't know what your desires and passions really are. So there's no way for me to give you proper advice as far as what to do with your life. You're the one who's got to figure that out, of course. Good luck, Murph. And James said, it's me, Javid. What up, bro? My what? What up, bro? My what? So the problem with these damn handles, YouTube decides to show the handles instead of your guys' names, and there's no setting for me to change it. So I went to try and see if I could change it to show everyone's name, and there isn't. You would think that I could just click a button and change it to everyone's regular name, but no, YouTube just decides to show handles, and they pick and choose certain streams to show everyone's handles rather than names. I hate the handles. I can't stand them. I read people's names wrong because there's no spaces, and a lot of people haven't set their handle up the same as their name, or it's something completely different. So I had no idea that this was Javid. So he had to send me a super chat just to let me know. So thank you for letting me know it's you, bro. I would have had no idea. All right, let me make sure I'm caught up on super chats here. We'll get back on track. Nope, it looks like I missed some from Javid. Some more from Javid. All right, let me get your super chat. He said something about Trumptricity. I'm going to go back and get it. Here it is. So Javid says Trumptricity is less greater than Tron Legacy Grid. Is that a fact? I'll take your word for it. Quite frankly, this guy sounds like an idiot because everybody knows Trumptricity is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Sliced bread, of course, was one of the most revolutionary things that ever happened. Trumptricity is going to be far superior to sliced bread in every way, shape, or form. Leaner, greener, meaner than sliced bread ever dreamed of being. Canada called. They want in on this. I was like, too bad. All right, you rubbed me the wrong way, Canada. You can kick rocks. You're not going to get any of our Trumptricity. We're going to be busy saving billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions. We're going to make everyone jealous, including China. James, who is Javid, said Tron arse sucks. Yeah, Tron R sucks. I agree with Javid. You hear that, Tron Arse? You sucks, bro. And he also said, it's me, Javid. I know. We've established that you are Javid. And we've established that Tron Arse's ass sucks. I know you're Javid, bro. That's why I'm calling you Javid. Thank you, Javid, for all of the multiple super chats coming in strong. He said, YouTube auto renamed me as James. Yeah, YouTube is dumb sometimes. I don't know why they do this stupid handle thing. Like I said, if it was up to me, I would have you guys showing your names like usual. I am not a fan of the handles. And again, if I could change it, I would. I looked into it. I can't. Joey GG said, your Roseanne the other night and adding her yelling, Darlene DJ was gold. Good stuff.
Greetings, Earthlings, and all of the Anunnaki, all of the freaking commies who are trying to destroy MAGA who might be watching, all of the Nephilim. Greetings. Hello, Earthlings. We are broadcasting here on Earth to all of the humans. We have an interstellar object that might reverse thrust and it might hit Earth. I hope it fucking does hit Earth so that it takes out all these freaking commies who are trying to destroy MAGA. But first, I have to yell at my kids so that they'll clean their room. DJ, clean your room. Darlene, get down here. Becky. Dan.
There you go. There's a little Roseanne for you.
I'll say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight last DJ?
All right. There you go. And as you guys know, I do the best Roseanne in the world. Some say I do a better Roseanne than Roseanne. Yes. Yes, I always lose some viewers when I do that, though. That's the problem. All right. Let's get back to the show, shall we?
Again. Now, here comes an object from outside the solar system, and it shows anomalies. The scientists would say we should be as careful as possible at talking about anything other than a rock. Now, they say that when they know that humanity launched a lot of space junk, a lot of technological objects to space, and we also know that there are 100 billion stars like the sun in the Milky Way galaxy.
There's 100 billion stars like the sun. See, pushing this notion that those twinkly dots are the same thing as the sun. No, they aren't. I can clearly see that we have a sun, right? And we all see our own sun, which is the trippy part. We all see our own independent angle to the sun. And if you take each of our independent angle to the sun, it doesn't triangulate back to the same one sun, which means we are all seeing our own sun. We all have our own sun rendered to each of us. Yes, right? And you can even have a non-person like a camera that you just stick out in the middle of nowhere and it will see the sun too. Trippy, right? So not only is the sun not what they tell us, it doesn't work like what they tell us. So furthermore, when they say that the stars are the same as a sun, that they're distant suns. No. See, that's just some shit that they say. You just see a little twinkly dot. So I've always said that when I look up and I see twinkly dots, that how come there aren't any twinkly dots a little closer to us? Like, how come there's not like a star that's like a quarter of the size of the sun, a 16th the size of the sun, an eighth the size of the sun. There should be. If they're all like suns and they're all different distances, we should have one that's like, you know, an eighth the size of the sun and a 16th the size and a 32, right? But no, all of them are twinkly dots. They're either really twinkly, kind of twinkly, or very faintly twinkly. That's it. So every single star, which they want you to think is a sun, all pretty much looks the same, just twinkly dots. So they're all distances that are so far away that they all appear to be twinkly dots. We don't happen to have one of them that's like closer and is like a quarter the size of the sun, right? Wouldn't it make sense if there were at least like a few of them that were closer and bigger? But no, they're all twinkly dots. Think about that. All right, Sunflower said, better Roseanne than Roseanne for sure. Thank you, Sunflower. You are sweet. I appreciate that. That's one hell of a compliment that I do a better impression of a loud, obnoxious fat lady than the actual obnoxious lady does herself. Now, of course, someone's going to be like, Roseanne is a dude, bro. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Alone, most of them formed billions of years before the sun, and there are billions of Earth-Sun analogs. Now, we all believe that we came out of a soup of chemicals. You know, that's the scientific narrative of how human intelligence came on this Earth.
Did you see what he just tried to slip past us? We all believe this? No. Speak for yourself, you lying ass shill piece of shit.
100 billion stars like the sun in the Milky Way galaxy alone, most of them formed billions of years before the sun.
Okay, first off, I don't believe in galaxies forming billions of years ago. Anything that happened billions of years ago is bullshit, in my opinion.
And there are billions of Earth-Sun analogs. Now, we all believe that we came out of a soup of chemicals.
We all believe that we came out of a soup of chemicals. Speak for yourself, you lying shill bitch. I don't believe that we came from a soup of chemicals. Do any of you guys also not believe we came from a soup of chemicals? Let's go ahead and prove this motherfucking liar wrong right now. I don't believe that. How about you guys? Anyone here not believe it? Holden said, neither do I. Lady Kalo says, we are space monkeys. Yeah. Right? No soup for me. Not I. Sunflower says no. Paula Ko says, I don't believe it either. Well, there you go. See? So just this small group of people right here, we are proof that this guy's a fucking liar. Everybody believes we came from a chemical soup, right? And here I am, and here you guys are. We don't believe that. So he's literally a fucking liar, right? If he's going to paint everybody with the same fucking scientific bullshit brush, I do not wish to be painted with your scientific bullshit. And I shall not be painted with your scientific hogwash.
You know, that's the scientific narrative of how human intelligence came on this Earth.
Yeah, as far as human intelligence is concerned, I know for a fact I am more intelligent than the average human because I know that that is a bullshit story. I know we did not come from a chemical soup billions of years ago, right? So right away, I know that the story of life coming out of the ocean in the form of molecules clumping together, I know it's bullshit, and I'm going to explain why it's bullshit right now. Okay. So here's why evolution and the mainstream science version of how humans evolved and how life evolved, here's why it's bullshit. So they want you to believe out in Magic Floaty Land is chaotic and violent. Out there in outer space, you can be sucked into a black hole. That's chaotic and violent and deadly, right? and they want you to believe that, if you get too close to a burning ball of gas, a sun, it's going to be hot, right? And it'll kill everything that could possibly be alive. No chance for life to even start if you're too close to a burning ball of gas. If you're too far away from a burning ball of gas, well, then it's going to be too frigid and too cold. Life can never start. Water can't even be wet. However, if a planet happens to be revolving around a burning ball of gas in this Goldilocks zone, and that's what they call it in science. They call it the Goldilocks zone, where everything is just right. Then you have conditions where water can be wet. It's not too cold, not too hot. And you have conditions where possibly a comet, meteor, whatever can come and hit the planet, and little molecules can somehow, some way show up in the wet water. They're not exactly sure how the living molecules start, these cells, these single cells. They're not exactly sure how they show up, but they know it can't be too hot, can't be too cold. Probably helps to have comets hitting, right? And then somehow, some way, these cells just pop into existence somehow. And then they don't just stay singular cells. No, they start clumping together. Cells don't like to remain singular. So what they do is they swim around in the ocean and they find each other and they clump together. And then clumps of cells, they start to grow like fins so that they can swim better and stuff. They're like, we don't want to just be a clump of cells. We want to have fins. So then they turn into fish. And then these fish, they decide that the ocean is boring. Some of them, not all the fish. Some of the fish decide the ocean is boring and that they want to grow legs and get up out the water and explore what's out there on the land. So some of these fish, not all of them, but some of them, decide at some point, and this happens over billions of years, of course, they decide to evolve legs. And then some of them get up out of the water and they turn into other animals like frogs and stuff, right? And reptiles. And then these reptiles turn into like birds and other land-dwelling animals, right? So the fish gets out of the water, turns into another animal. Some of them turn into like monkeys, right? So the fish that decide they don't like it in the ocean anymore, those are the ones that start evolving. And over the course of billions of years, fish in water becomes monkey on land. Monkey on land, hanging around in a tree eating bananas, decides one day he don't want to be a monkey anymore. So some monkeys, not all of them, but certain ones, the ones that wanted it most, decided to lose their hair, build structures, and start being humans. Yeah. So all of the half monkey, half people, all those died. So we still have monkeys and we have people, but all the monkey hybrid people in between, yeah, all those died. This happened over millions of years. And here's the coolest part. I am a descendant of a monkey, which was the descendant of a fish, which was the descendant of a clump of cells, which started as a singular cell. And here I am on the internet telling all of you former monkeys all about how we used to be monkeys. And the crazy thing is, there are still monkeys who are too dumb to realize that they could have turned into humans. Yeah. What a great story, right? That's how you know that that's true. Good thing that we didn't end up too close to the sun. Otherwise, none of this could have ever happened. Javid said, yo, pit stop at gas station. Need anything? Get me some now and laters, bro. Get me a pack of little chocolate donuts, man. And Funyuns. Funyuns, man. No, I'm good, bro. Yeah. Give me a pack of condoms. And what's that stuff we used to eat it back in the day? some pussy. Yeah. There we go. Little throwback to Half Baked. All right. Simpy to Simp coming in with another super chat after he said he was going to go to bed. I knew he was putting on a front. I knew I was too entertaining to let Simpy to Simp go to bed. He says, like I have done the maths on genetic mutations, it's literally less likely than impossible. Soup forming DNA is even less probable. Sending a virtual hot dog up to heaven to Rusty. Long live Ralphie. Hey, glad you are still up, still sending some super chat love. I must be doing my job tonight, being super entertaining and funny to keep you awake, hooking me up with super chats. Hell yeah. Simpy to Simp. You the man. I think this is like your 6th or 7th super chat tonight. Hell yeah. Much love to you and Javid. So yeah, the story that a primordial soup is where life started. It's always my question. It's like, well, how did that very first cell show up? So you can mix together water, which has what? The salt and minerals, like little tiny pieces of sediment and stuff, right? You can just mix together salty water for long enough that a living cell pops out, and then more living cells pop out, and then those living cells decide to like clump together and create complex life forms like a freaking sea bass and an octopus and a freaking humpback whale, right? Freaking gigantic sperm whale is somehow the descendant of a clump that somehow showed up in the water. So it's always, how did the first cell actually show up? And that's when you get stupid answers like, oh, well, a comet maybe brought so now living cells can live on a comet out in fucking space where it's chaotic and deadly and nothing can live, but cells can somehow live on a comet. Well, the cells are frozen inside the comet, and then when they hit, they're like are heated up and they come back to life, right? You have to come up with some retarded shit in your head, some make-believe retard shit, that a frozen cell on a comet from another world hits the Earth and then gets heated up in the water, and then the cell comes to life, right? So always this, just go back to the story of how the hell does the first cell show up? They got nothing. Total bullshit story is what mainstream science is dependent upon. And that's what everybody believes. According to the guest on Joe Rogan's show, everyone believes that story, that living cells showed up in the ocean, which was basically just this soup, just some water with some salt and minerals and stuff, just swishing and mixing around. Suddenly some, so yeah, go try that yourself. Go try and mix together any chemical and get some living cells. Javid said, my connect to mushrooms is a hippie I call Monkey because he has monkeys that's been in movies. Because he has monkeys that's been in movies. You're telling me you have a mushroom guy, a dude who hooks you up with mushrooms, who owns monkeys that have been in movies? Is that what you're telling me? That's such a strange story. I'm inclined to believe it. Doesn't seem like you have anything to gain by lying about that. So I'm going to believe that that is the truth, that you do have a guy who hooks you up with mushrooms, who owns monkeys that have been in movies. Any movies we might recognize? Like King Kong or Dunstan Checks In? Is it the monkey from Dunstan Checks In? That monkey's probably long dead. That's an old movie. I'm aging myself by bringing up Dunstan Checks In. Javid says, or Javid, sorry, says, I'm in Miami, so all gas stations have is Cuban pastries. I haven't been to Miami in a long time. I'm going to Miami. Welcome to Miami. Bienvenido a Miami. Party in the city where the heat is on all night on the beach till the break of dawn. Going to Miami. Javid's in Miami. There you go. Little Will Smith for that ass. You guys remember back when Will Smith was a popular singer on the radio, and now everybody fucking hates him, right? He like purposely trolls people with his music now. It used to be people actually liked Will Smith's music, and even if you didn't like it, you were forced to hear it because it was like coming from everywhere. It was on all the top 40 stations. Mainstream media would play it. Sorry to make you guys hear that. All right, let me make sure I'm caught up on all my super chats. Looks like I am. All right. So let's switch it up. We watched the Joe Rogan shit. Let's see what Neil deGrasse Tyson has to say about the whole thing. I'm tired of Joe's bullshit guest. Like Joe's guest, whatever his name was, it doesn't matter. The minute he was like, oh, everybody believes that life comes from a chemical soup. It's like, nope. Done with you. You're a proven fucking liar, if that's what you're going to say. So we're going to watch a different proven fucking liar now. Switch gears. We're going to listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson from the channel Star Talk. Is it a comet or alien technology? Literally the same question as the last guy. So it's like they're only giving you two options: boring comet or exciting alien technology. See what Neil the ass has to say.
Aliens paying us a visit from another star system? What's up with that? Consider that people try to understand the world around them. And in so doing, every time they got to a point that they didn't understand, in came the power of a god. Let's go back to ancient Greece. Storms rose up in the seas. Where did that come from? How? Why? Do they have meteorology? No. Do they understand barometric pressure? No.
Whenever humans believe that they don't have an answer for something, that's when they invoke the power of a god. When they should be invoking the power of science. Science doesn't care what man chooses not to know. There's always more to know. So whenever you think you know, just remember, science already figured it out long before you chose not to know. Right? So we're going to start out with Neil deGrasse poo-pooing on the notion of humans believing in a god and touting almighty science. Now, people who believe in a god, they don't know the first thing about barometric pressure. They don't know anything about science, bro. If you knew anything about science, you wouldn't bother believing in a god in the first place. Right? He'll say some shit like that. Watch.
Did they know anything about the atmosphere? No. But they knew the will of Poseidon. Poseidon would be enraged by the behavior of people on the shores, and that would account for what they saw. This assigning the glory and the wrath of a deity to things we don't understand is coined by philosophers as the god of the gaps. It's actually got quite a noble history when you think of it. One of the greatest works of science ever is Principia Mathematica. In there, Newton unleashes the 3 laws of motion, the laws of gravity. He figures out how the solar system works. He's figuring out, how do these planets sustain their orbits? Are they pulling on each other, and in what way and how? He figures all this out.
Everybody knows one of the most important things that man has ever figured out because of science is the mathematics Principia Pupa Papa Pista Pupa. And of course, this is very important because Newton figured out exactly what the sun is doing with the earth. Newton figured out all these planets are pulling on the earth and figured out everything that there was to know about the cosmos. This is why the Principia Pia is the most important scientific research man has ever done. Oh, big words, big eyebrows. Must be big brain intelligence.
But wait a minute. Every time Earth goes around the backside between the sun and Jupiter, Jupiter's going to tug on it a little bit. Comes back around again, Jupiter tugs on it again. Jupiter has a strong gravity. What's going to ultimately happen to Earth's orbit? In this scenario, Earth's orbit will become more and more elongated. The gravitational tug of war between the sun and Jupiter will yank Earth out of its orbit, destabilizing the solar system. Not only Earth, the other planets as well. He said, oh my gosh, this will take time.
Sunflower says I should get some fake eyebrows. I use my hands to do my own eyebrows. I said long ago that Neil deGrasse has scientific eyebrows, and he talks with his eyebrows. It's like his main point of emphasis when he speaks, right? Science teaches us what many refuse to learn. Science doesn't care about your personal incredulity. Science is there whether we choose to be right or whether we choose to be wrong. And when man finds out that there's more to learn than just what meets the eye, that's when science is there to help you along your way. Science, I worship science. My eyebrows are very scientific. And that's why I speak slowly and I put emphasis on my words by moving my eyebrows up and down according to what I'm saying. Right? Yeah, I need to get me some Neil deGrasse brows. Maybe I'll be Neil deGrasse Tyson for Halloween. Right? I'll paint myself light brown and get some fake eyebrows. Everybody knows it's really funny and totally politically correct for a white man to paint himself up like a light-skinned brown man. Yes. Light-skinned black brown man. I'm sure that would go over well if I was Neil deGrasse Tyson for Halloween. I'm sure there'd be nobody wanting to cancel me for that.
But clearly the solar system is stable. So he writes, can't understand why it's stable because I know my equations work. So God must step in every now and then to fix things. Now you got to be badass to invoke God at the limits of your knowledge when you explain so much with the equations you wrote. That, by Newton, was a God of the gaps invocation.
Anytime man can't explain something, this is when we invoke God. So when man doesn't have the science to back his theories, he of course invokes God. And this is what we call gods of the gaps. And this is why Newton was such a badass. Now I seem like I'm edgy because I say ass. Look at me. I'm like 60 whatever years old and I'm saying the word ass to try to be cool and hip. And it's working. All right.
He brought in God when there was something about the natural world he could not explain and did not know. Notice Newton did not invoke God to explain the force of attraction between Earth and the moon. He nailed that. He wrote down that equation. That was working. He didn't invoke God when he talked about his 3 laws of motion. Force equals mass times acceleration. That works. We still use it today. He only invoked God at the limits of his knowledge. So let's fast forward to the second half of the 20th century on into the 21st century.
So apparently, Nas wrote the Will Smith song Miami. I did not know that. I'm going to take your word for it. Being that it doesn't matter who wrote it in my life, I'm going to take your word that that information is correct. I hope you're not lying about that, bro. Because if you are, I'm going to be going around telling people that Nas wrote Miami. They're going to look at me like I'm stupid. So I really hope that what you're saying is correct. I don't feel like going and looking it up right now because I'm too busy watching Neil deGrasse Tyson. But you sent me 2 super chats. Saying the same thing. Apparently Nas wrote that Will Smith Miami song. So it's really important to Javid to let everybody know that Nas wrote Miami. So let's give proper credit where credit is due to Nas. The only Nas song I can remember is If I Ruled the World, Free All My Son, Up in the world, oh my son, love 'em, baby. That's the only Nas song I remember. And I can't remember any of his rhymes. Actually, I can remember one rhyme. Imagine smoking weed in the streets without cops harassing. Imagine going to court with no trial. That's the only rhyme I remember. And it didn't even rhyme. All right. I got another super chat from Javid. Javid, very generous tonight. Says, damn, I don't remember which movie, probably old 90s movies. They also performed in circus, shroom tripping with monkeys. It's cool too. I'll take your word for it. I'm going to assume it was Dunstan Checks In. Because that's the only movie with a monkey that I can remember off the top of my head. Thank you very much, Javid, for your multiple super chats, bro. All right, let's get back to Neil deGrasse here. I'm going to lay down this science on our ass. He's going to science our ass, bro.
What happens? Well, we have Hollywood. Nothing better than a good sci-fi movie with aliens in it. And aliens, they're aliens, so they got better technology than us, better spaceships. They do stuff we can't do. It appears to me that we live in a time where God of the Gaps has been supplanted by Alien of the Gaps.
So now he's talking about alien technology being better than man's technology. So he's invoking make-believe space aliens and their make-believe technology.
Hollywood. Nothing better than a good sci-fi movie with aliens in it. And aliens, they're aliens, so they got better technology than us, better spaceships. They do stuff we can't do. It appears to me that we live in a time where God of the Gaps has been supplanted by Alien of the Gaps. I've had people come up to me and say, where did the pyramids come from? And I'm saying, well, I'm thinking the ancient Egyptians built it. How could they have possibly built that? That's too complicated. They must have gotten help from aliens.
All right. Anyone who hasn't figured out the pyramids, I'm about to lay it on you right now. Wet rock cement. Yeah. They make some wet rock cement, mix up this certain rock cement that is soft and pliable, and then when it hardens, it makes a block, right? So you have a wet block, and then you shape it, and then it dries, and then on top of it, you shape another wet block, right? So you don't move any of these giant blocks around. You mix the rock cement together and you form it right where you want it. Once I heard someone say, oh, the Sphinx and pyramids, yeah, it's just rock cement. I was like, of course it's rocks. Oh, can't believe I ever fucking believed it was humans hoisting with like ropes and pulleys. Like, how would you hoist and move those big, huge blocks with humans all working together? No way. Did they use alien technology? Did the aliens build them? That's another bullshit story. So the one thing that no one talks about that actually makes the most sense, yeah, rock cement. You know, oh, how did they build that? Oh, you know, less than a couple hundred years ago, they fucking put some wet rock cement there, and they told everybody that they're old, and everyone's like, we just saw you build them. Fuck you, they're really old. They're thousands of years old, all right? So they just keep telling people that they're really old until everybody dies out, and then the next generation of people, they're like, yeah, these are old. These pyramids, the Sphinx, super old. And they're just like, oh, okay. But the first people who were there to watch them build it, they knew that it wasn't that old. They knew that they were lying. So all you got to do is, like, when you build one of these things like the Sphinx pyramids or whatever, just tell people it's really old. They're going to know you're lying. But eventually those people are going to die. And so the next batch of people, their kids and their kids' kids, those are the ones who buy into the lie that it's really, really old from thousands of years ago. So that's how that works. Got a super chat from Morgan, said, to the Nas X. Not sure what you want me to do with that, to the Nas X. Like I said, I only remember the one Nas song. And I barely remember that. Otherwise, I would if I knew a whole Nas song, I would sit here and rap it for you, but I don't. Sorry, Morgan. I'm not sure what to do with to the Nas X. But thank you for the super chat nonetheless. Much appreciated. Simpy to Simp, who's still here, hasn't went to sleep yet, said, Neil is a very funny chap. You, Jake, speak more science in your debunking videos. Who is the other black chap Neil speaks to who claims he lives in a web of lies? Anyway, very funny. Other black guy. I'm not sure what other black guy who's like Neil who you're talking about. So, do you guys know what another black guy who he might be talking about? I don't think you're talking about Mag. Let me tell you something, people. Neil deGrasse Tyson is an actor to fool the masses. There's no such thing as a bald earth, people. Man come from the land beyond the ice wall. Let me tell you something, people. Man come from the Atlantis, the land from beyond the ice wall. There's no earthquake there, people. Let me tell you something. There's no volcano. Volcano and the earthquake, the tornado, this is something that only happened here on Earth. It is a man-made structure. Need to wake your ass up right now. I'm gone. Yeah, I'm not sure which black guy you're talking about, bro. But yes, Neil deGrasse is fun to make fun of. And he thinks he's hilarious. Neil deGrasse will oftentimes make himself bust up laughing, even though he doesn't say anything that's funny. That's when I laugh at Neil, is when he laughs at himself after not saying anything funny. Surprised he hasn't made himself laugh yet in this video that we're watching. That's usually his forte. Say something scientific that isn't funny at all, and then laugh as if he just made some sort of a joke. Looks like Morgan just became a member. Awesome. Glad to see we got people becoming members. Hell yeah. Simpy to Simp said, Jake, mate, what is the channel called who makes music taking the pee out of these people? You introduced me to it before. The channel that makes music out of taking the piss out of these people. I've made some music talking about how space is fake, like no satellites in space, for instance. But I'm not sure about what channel you're talking about. I usually don't promote other channels that much. So I can't even think of who you're talking about. Does anybody know who he's talking about? The channel that makes conspiracy music that I know of is a shill. There's Conspiracy Music Guru, but that dude's a fucking shill who ties back to all the flat earth shills and agents and shit. So I don't really like Conspiracy Music Guru, but he has made some songs about space being fake. So perhaps you're thinking of Conspiracy Music Guru, who's a fucking shill. All right.
Alien of the gaps. So this urge is strong. And I get it. And I feel it. And I want it to be true as well. I don't want to use it as a substitute for continuing to ask questions.
All right, Javid says you're more of a Jay-Z guy over Nas. No, that's an incorrect assumption. I was a West Coast guy because I grew up in California. So I was a Tupac fanboy. He was my favorite by far. Tupac was my first favorite, number one. And then I also liked Snoop Dogg back when he was like doing his gangsta stuff back in the day. So Doggy Style album, that was like an album I listened to a shitload of times. I also liked Ice Cube. So I liked Tupac and Snoop and Ice Cube and Too Short. And I liked the West Coast guys. Warren G, right? So I can remember a bunch of songs from the mid-90s from the West Coast rap scene. But Jay-Z and Nas, those were like East Coast guys, like New York guys. And I didn't like them or their style as much. And then once Tupac died, a few years after that, and then we were going into the 2000s, I started to get more into rock and roll and embrace my white roots. So my rap phase was when I was like 12, 13, 14. And then when I started to get older, 16, 17, 18, that's when I like embraced my rock and roll side and my white side, basically. So yeah, I can remember full Snoop Dogg songs and Ice Cube songs and Tupac songs, but I don't really remember much Jay-Z shit. I can maybe remember a couple choruses, but never one of my favorites.
About what you're looking at. I don't want to use it as a substitute for the simple statement, I don't know what it is. That's powerful. If you don't know how to say, I don't know, that means you're going to walk through life requiring answers to everything. And you know something? Some of those answers, many of those answers will just be shown to be wrong because you are invoking an answer when there isn't evidence to support it. We see things in the sky we can't explain.
Hey, yo, doctor, here's another proper track and it's whack. Watch the sniper. Time to pay the piper and let that real shit provoke. Cause you's a wanna be loke and you'll get smoked. And I hope that your fans understand when you're talking about spraying me. The same records that you're making is paying me. Motherfuck Dre, motherfuck Snoop, motherfuck Death Row. Yo, here comes my left blow. There you go. That's my favorite Eazy-E song. Real motherfucking G's.
There's a light in the sky and it moves rapidly. I don't know what it is. Investigate it. Let's get more data. I'm all in. But the moment you say, I don't know what I'm looking at, therefore I know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at aliens. That is a leap. Oh my gosh. That's a leap.
So just because you see something in the sky that you can't explain and you don't know what you're looking at doesn't mean that it's aliens. I actually agree with Neil deGrasse on that point. If you see some shit in the sky and you don't know what it is, that don't make it aliens. It don't make it alien technology. Now, I don't agree with Neil deGrasse Tyson on much, but that one little thing that he said right there, that it's elite to assume something you can't explain in the sky is aliens. Yeah, total elite. So don't do that. Everything else Neil's going to talk about is all bullshit, though. So that's like the only thing we agree on.
And it's a leap I'm not prepared to take. What's gotten a lot of attention of late, deservedly.
Never been a worse time.
Sorry for the commercial.
Now, 3 visitors from interstellar space. Love it. We've been looking for these puppies for decades, by the way. Everything in the solar system, the planets, the moons, the comets, the asteroids, all of it. If you calculate how much energy it has, it is contained within the solar system. None of these objects have enough energy to escape the gravitational pull of the sun. The sun owns them. That's our family. It's the solar system. So we learn about the planets, we go there, we land on them, we land on the moons, we land on the asteroid, we landed on comets.
Wait, what did he say? What did he say?
None of these objects have enough energy to escape the gravitational pull of the sun. The sun owns them.
The sun owns them. The sun owns the earth. The sun owns you. You hear that, boy? The sun owns you. You don't own you. The sun owns you. That chair you're sitting in, those clothes you're wearing, they aren't yours. It's the property of the sun. Don't you forget it. What else did you have to say? He said something else that caught my attention.
That's our family. It's the solar system.
The solar system is our family. You know, like the sun is your daddy, and then like the moon is your mommy, and then like Mercury is like your gay uncle. And Jupiter is like your dyke aunt, and Uranus is your anus, and it owns you.
So we learn about the planets, we go there, we
learn about the planets, we go there. Oh, really, Neil? What planet have you gone to? What planet did Neil's black ass go to? Yeah, I don't ever remember him getting on any rocket ships and going to any other planets. Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson, who has all these theories and opinions about the cosmos and outer space, yet he's never fucking been there. Yeah, imagine that. You're like the world-renowned leading expert astrophysicist, and you've never even been to the fucking place that you're talking about to see if any of your wild theories are even true.
we land on them, we land on the moons.
We do what?
So we learn about the planets, we go there, we land on them, we land on the moons.
Land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon. Neil deGrasse Tyson, he goes to the moon, and then you know that he come back soon. He rove to the left, he rove to the right. Neil deGrasse Tyson, he rove all night. He lands on the moon, he lands on the moon, lands on the moon, he lands on the moon. Lands on the moon, he lands on the moon, and yes, my friend, he will come back soon. He take it over, he go to the moon. Yes, you know he gonna come back soon. Rove to the top, he rove down low. He rove so much he got no place to go. He land on the moon, he land on the moon. Land on the moon, he land on the moon, and yes, my friend, he will come back soon. He rove, rove, rove. Everybody now, rove, rove. Rove, Neil Tyson, rove, rove, rove. Oh, come on now, rove, rove, ro. Everybody say ro, 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 rover, ro, 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 rover, ro. All right. Couldn't help it. Couldn't help it. You guys know how it is. Simpy to Simp said, not that guy, bro. He makes like techno kind of music. You promoted the channel. Very low subscriber count. If you remember, please say it next stream. He makes short music videos, taking the piss. Does anyone know who he's talking about? Because I can't for the life of me figure out who he's talking about. I mean, I am a stoner and I'm full of balloner. So sometimes my memory is not the best. Does anyone know who he's talking about? Anybody? Bueller? If anybody can help me out to try and figure out who this guy is that Simpy to Simp wants to be reminded of, I have no idea who he's talking about. I can't remember promoting any music channel. No idea, bro. This guy says DJ New Moon. I've never heard of DJ New Moon, so how could it be somebody who I've never heard of? DJ New Moon. I doubt that's who it is because I don't even know who that is. Taking the piss means making fun of. Taking the piss out of NASA means like making fun of NASA. AKA busting their balls. He said, it's okay. I wish I knew who you're talking about, bro. Now I'm curious who the hell you're talking about. Javid said, did you like the NWA movie? An opinion on Fred Durst's singing skills? NWA movie. I don't think I saw the NWA movie. I watched Boys in the Hood and I watched Menace to Society and I watched Juice. Those are my three favorite hood movies from the 90s. Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, and Juice. Those ones were the good hood movies. So I'd never watched the NWA movie, so I don't have an opinion on that. And Fred Durst's singing skills, well, he's not the worst singer I've ever heard, but he's definitely not a great singer. He doesn't have like a strong singing voice. So he's more of like a rapper than he is a singer. So he's kind of like rap rock voice. His voice is very indicative of the time period that he came out of, where Limp Bizkit first got popular. That like late 90s, early 2000s new metal sound. Which now, he's like popular again. So Limp Bizkit went through a time where like they were old news and people forgot about them, and then they kind of drifted into irrelevance. But then over the last, 3-4 years, they got popular again. And now they do a bunch of like festivals and go on tours and shit, and they play for big crowds. Like, weren't they opening up for Metallica during their stadium tour? So, hey, he's still out there and they're still entertaining people and people are still paying to go see him. So they're doing better than a lot of other bands. William Mellick said, "Hello, Jake, my favorite cracker. Have you listened to Modern Beatboxers? If not, can I drop 2 names for you to check out live for us? It's badass." Sure. Who do you got? I'm about done with Neil deGrasse Tyson. So, yeah, drop the names of the beatboxers. As you guys know, I'm actually the best beatboxer who ever lived. I'm barred from international beatboxing competitions because I'm so good that, like, there wouldn't be a competition if I showed up. So the reason why I'm not allowed to compete in any beatboxing competition is because there is no competition. It would be over before it started. So that's why they no longer allow me to compete in beatboxing competitions. True story. All right, William. Who are the beatboxers you want me to look at? Mark Horsefield said, "Jake, what do you think of this Toronto Blue Jays run going to the World Cup? Canada is a host. Do they win or lose at home?" I don't know, man. I don't want to influence people to bet money on any baseball games. I have no idea. I wish I could give you some good betting advice, but I just don't know, and I don't want to pick the wrong team and have people talk shit. So I'm just going to say good luck if you're going to bet on that. And thank you for the super chat. Or you didn't even send a super chat. I just read your message for free. So you're welcome. William Mellick says, "Improver Feel the Future" and Taras Stannen. Improver Feel the Future and Taras Stannen, huh? Is that the name? Improver Feel the Future? I guess it is. I just found it. All right. Hopefully I don't get copyright claimed for this. If so, I'm going to have to cut it out. And then I'm going to lose the live chat. It sounds like he's cheating. I could be wrong, but it sounds like he's getting electronic assistance. Right? A real, legitimate beatboxer, world-renowned beatboxer like myself. You don't use a mic, and you don't use any electronics whatsoever. It's genuine beatboxing. So this guy is probably a cheater.
Feel the future.
And you're not allowed to use lyrics during beatboxing. So he's automatically disqualified. So that's like a rule. You're only allowed to do beat noises and make noises that aren't words. And once you start using words, then you're not beatboxing. Then it's like you're singing or rapping. So I'm not impressed. In fact, I think he's a fucking cheater. and he wishes he was as good as me. Sounds like he's copying one of Trent Reznor's songs. William Malek said they do live battles also without reverb. Yeah, this guy's probably a total cheater. Looks like he's AI. He's probably not even a real guy. Probably just AI. Yeah, they want to cover up the fact that I'm the best beatboxer in the world with all these wannabes. Yeah. Who's the other guy you said? We'll look up the other guy. Taurus Stannon. We'll check him out and see if he's any better. So that guy right there, he sucks donkey balls. All right, Taurus Stannon, 621,000. Wow. So he does beatbox covers. Interesting. So he doesn't do original beatboxing. He does covers. Maybe he does both. Wow. TNT AC/DC cover. Ugh. Nope, don't like it. He sucks. Yeah, both these guys suck donkey balls. They're nowhere near as good as me. That right there made me uncomfortable. Once he started singing and stopped beatboxing. Ugh, it was gross. Didn't like it. Yeah, that made me feel uncomfortable. Sorry, William Malek, but I'm going to have to say that both those beatboxers suck big, fat, hairy donkey testicles. Both of them. They're nowhere near as good as me. He said, bro, look at their channels. They do with no effects. Well, what I just saw was them using effects, and it sucked. Not only did it sucked big, fat, hairy donkey testicles. And so, everybody is allowed to like what they like. So if those are your favorite beatboxers, that's cool. You happen to like guys who suck big, fat, hairy donkey testicles. That's your thing. That's fine, whatever. I personally think that those guys are uncomfortable to listen to. Since I know I'm the best beatboxer who ever lived, it's hard for me to even listen to any of these wannabes, like I live with the ability to beatbox better than any man alive or whoever lived or who will ever lived. So it's hard for me to be impressed by these cheaters and wannabes who are probably AI. I mean, let's be honest. But that's cool, man. You're allowed to like them and think that they're awesome. Tricks and Troll said, search French fat beatbox first result, old but classic. French fat beatbox. All right. This better be good. Otherwise, Otherwise, there's going to be hell to pay.
Le prochain candidat est bien décidé lui aussi à montrer au jury.
Et vous allez nous chanter une chanson de Corneille. D'accord. Parfait, allez-y. One, two, three, go.
Yeah, he's okay. I mean, he's no me. I mean, you know, doing covers of songs that already exist. I guess that's cool. I don't know. Very average, very mediocre. I give him like a 4.5 out of 10. I could see why people, you know, freaking 13 years ago might be impressed by this, but me, the best beatboxer who ever lived in the year 2025, I'm not that impressed. All right, that just sounds like fart noises right there. He was starting to lose it and just make fart noises. Like the last several seconds, he was just like, right? William Malek said, broke my heart. I thought we would bond. LOL. Well, you know, I'm just really hard to impress with beatboxing because I am the greatest beatboxer who ever lived. I mean, there's a reason why they don't let me into any beatboxing competition, and it's because I'm basically a back-to-back champion. And so once I won so many times in a row, they're like, that's it. You can't join any more beatboxing competitions. You're just too good, right? So having said that, would you guys like to hear some of my original world-renowned beatboxing? I don't always do this. It only happens once in a great while, but you know, tonight on a very special Wednesday, you guys have been so kind tonight and sent so many super chat donations. Tonight, I can, if you're lucky, I can bestow upon you some of my beatboxing skills. However, I'm going to need each and every one of you to hit the thumbs up button right now. If you guys want to see me come out of beatboxing retirement since the last time I beatboxed, I'm going to need everybody to hit the thumbs up right now. We're going to do a thumbs up drive. If you guys want to see the greatest beatboxer who ever lived do some beatboxing here live on a wicked Wednesday night, you're going to want to hit the thumbs up right now. Here's the deal. I don't cover songs. All right. There might be a snippet of a song that I might include in my beatboxing, but the entirety of my beatboxing will be original artwork. That's what I do. My beatboxing is my art. I create original works of art. Sometimes I tie in snippets of songs, right? But I'm not going to cover an entire song in a beatboxing form. That would just be ripping off somebody else's work. Instead, I'm going to create my own artwork with elements of other artists' art tucked within my art. I'm going to transform it and make something new and innovative and amazing that you have never heard before? And Javid said Fred Durst changes cover. Changes cover. Fred Durst changes cover. What are you talking about, bro? Oh, he covered a Black Sabbath song. Did he? All right.
Maestro Ozzy Osbourne. I gotta say, I love Ozzy's voice. I love his music. I've been listening to it most of my whole life, and it's an absolute honor to be a part of this historical event. I can't imagine a world without Ozzy Osbourne, and I'm so glad the world has Ozzy Osbourne. And I'm gonna give this thing a go just for you, Ozzy. Let's
Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne in his final performance wasn't even the actual Ozzy Osbourne. It was a different dude, a imposter up there. His name was Dana Strum. So I actually did a deep dive where I proved, if you go back and watch, I did a deep dive proving that the final performance was done by a friend of Ozzy's who can do an Ozzy impression spot on. Dana Strum was his name.
try to suck around. I feel unhappy. I feel so sad. I have lost the best friend that I ever had.
I feel so happy. I feel so sad. Fred Durst is old enough to be my dad. And hearing him sing this boring ass cover makes me think he's a boring motherfucker. There you go. Man, that's some boring shit right there.
She was my woman. I love her so. But it's too late now. I've let her go.
Ugh, I'm sorry, dude, but I would never, ever listen to that recreationally. Anyone who's into that sort of thing, hey, you know, suit yourself. But man, that right there, if I had to continue listening, it was going to put me to sleep. I had to tap out early on that one. Dreary, and his voice just isn't doing that song any favors. I could go the rest of my life never having heard that, or never hearing it again, I should say, and that would be just fine with me. Kreger said, I'm having fun, Jake. Thank you. Well, I'm glad you're still here having fun, hanging out with me on a Wednesday night, Kreger. Thank you for being here. Thanks for the super chat. Ryler05 said, whatever happened to the asteroid belt? A bunch of rocks in between Mars and Jupiter. It seems that all comets pass straight through. Yeah, you don't hear much about the asteroid belt anymore, right? So they say that there is a radiation belt that the astronauts can't pass through because it is deadly. But somehow astronauts pass through this supposed radiation belt when they supposedly landed on the moon. But that was before they knew about the radiation belt. So apparently, a radiation belt is only deadly if you know about it. So they're trying to figure out how to pass through the deadly radiation belt and go back to the moon, even though in 1969 they supposedly made it through the deadly radiation belt to the moon. So I don't know how that works. Yep. Outer space full of nothing but bullshit. OJ and Toothpaste said, worst music ever in your opinion. Sup, Jake? Well, I'd have to say Mexican music is right up there. And señorita es bonita, and yone is bailamo, and yone, right? Mexican music sucks. Basically, the only people who like Mexican music are fucking Mexicans. Everyone else in the world pretty much thinks it sucks. Like, I don't see Chinese people rocking out to Mexican music. I don't see black people rocking out to Mexican music. Lord knows us white folks, we don't like it. So the only people who likes Mexican music are fucking Mexicans. So I have to say their music sucks the worst. And they have so many stations. It's like every other radio station is a Mexican station. And then you could be out in the middle of nowhere, can't get any rock and roll music, but there's still like 12 Mexican stations that work perfectly and come in clearly, right? So it's oversaturated, their music. All right. I almost forgot that I was going to do some beatboxing. Let me make sure I'm caught up on super chats. All right. I think I'm caught up on super chats now. So now that everybody has hopefully hit the thumbs up button, if you haven't, go ahead and do so now. So tonight, before I end the show, I'm going to do something very special for you guys. I'm going to do some of my world-renowned beatboxing right here for you guys. Are you guys ready? And of course, this is going to be 10 times better than any of those examples that we watched earlier of those wannabes. All right. Here we go. You guys ready? You guys ready to have your mind blown by the greatest beatboxer ever known in the history of the world, times infinity? Ralph, you ready? You ready for me to do the best beatboxing that you've ever heard, Ralph? Ralph's ready. All right. We're going to go ahead and do the voice activated light. Voice activated. Hell yeah. All right. Okay, here we go. Ha, ta-da! There you go. See? I told you. Pretty good, huh? Like best you've ever seen times infinity? I know. I thought so as well. Now you guys see why they don't let me compete in any beatbox competition. Because I'm too damn good. That's why. You guys see now why if I show up to any beatbox competition, they're like, no, you're not allowed. You're too good. Please don't come back. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. I'm the best. Best there ever was. Times infinity. All right. There you go. Aren't you guys happy that you got to experience that? The world's greatest beatboxer that there ever was in the world. You're welcome. Kevin Arnold giving me a round of applause. He knows what's up. Jonna clapping her tits off. Thank you, Jonna. Almond scented, laughing out loud. Rose says that was brilliant. Well, thank you, Rose. You know, I'm a man of many skills, and I'm the best at a lot of different things, and beatboxing is one of those things that I am best at. You know, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. I suck at like working on cars, for instance. Like if I have an issue with my automobile, I have to pay someone else to fix it because I'm just not a mechanical guy. But if there's a beatboxing issue that needs solved, clearly I can handle that. You know, there's some skills that I possess that they fit the moment just perfectly. And I believe my beatboxing skill fit that moment exquisitely. In fact, there isn't a single soul who could have done anything as entertaining as what I just did. So therefore, all of you should consider yourself blessed times infinity. All right. I'm gonna have to turn up the air conditioning in my room after that. Got myself all hot and bothered. K9s for you said, you made me smile tonight, Jake, so bravo. Well, thank you. My goal is to not only entertain all of y'all, but to make you laugh, make you feel, right? So hopefully you guys had fun tonight. We learned about a lot of fun scientific stuff, like a fictional interstellar object that is gonna fictional maybe hit the earth. That was fun. Time just flies by. I was gonna make fun of some more black people tonight who are gonna lose their SNAP benefits, but I don't know if we have enough time. In fact, maybe we'll just cram that in right now. Before we shut down the stream, we'll make fun of some black folks because I did put it in the title that the SNAP benefits are coming to an end. So since everybody loves when I make fun of black folks who be losing their SNAP benefits, we'll go ahead and do that just before I shut down the stream. Because as you guys know, there's some people out there that ain't going to be able to buy food for their kids, and they don't know what to do. But they know it's all Trump's fault. So it's Trump's fault that people are going to get their SNAP benefits taken away. So here's a video called Black Women in Tears After SNAP Benefits End.
Out the kindness and shit. Dusty asshole.
You worried about some.
While telling the world that basic survival is optional. They trying to kill us. They trying to starve us to death. I just got some bad news, y'all. The U.S. just voted against food as a human right in 2025, not 1825, not 1925, in 2025, okay? They out here preaching freedom and democracy while telling the world that basic survival is optional. What the fuck is really going on? Nah, that's not right. And you can't call yourself the land of the free if you out here denying people food. Where they do that at? Like, y'all have money for bombs and billionaires and fucking bailouts, but not for basic dignity?
Y'all, I'm like 300 pounds. You could tell just by looking at how big my face and my nose is in this picture that the rest of me is a really, really big mama, know what I'm saying? So how the fuck they gonna tell me that I don't deserve to eat food, y'all? I got money for a nose ring. I got money for a tongue ring. But I don't got money to feed my 300-pound self no more without the help from the government. I rely on the government, y'all. I'm gonna cry if the government take away my food stamp. I still got money for nose rings.
My understanding.
It's official. All SNAP benefits and all food stamps will be cut off as of November 1st. So stop right now, save and share this video with everybody. And if you don't believe me, 5 hours ago, USA Today literally posted, SNAP benefits won't go out November 1st. The well has run dry. Now, as an individual that makes tens of thousands of dollars per month from my online business, I still use food stamps.
Okay, so this guy's saying he makes tens of thousands of dollars a month, I think he said, and he said he still gets food stamps. So this guy's literally claiming he leeches off the fucking system and gets the food stamps, and he's gonna fucking make this video flexing about how much money he makes and he still collects food stamps, and we're supposed to be like, what, impressed?
November 1st.
Are we supposed to be impressed? Are we supposed to feel sorry for this guy?
The well has run dry. Now, as an individual that makes tens of thousands of dollars per month from my
tens of thousands of dollars per month. That's why he's got this chain. That's how you know he's a big baller, because he has this chain. And even though he makes tens of thousands of dollars a month,
my online business, I still use food stamps.
He still uses food stamps. So isn't that a good reason to cut it off? Because there's so many people abusing the benefits. Got people making tens of thousands of dollars a month. That's more than me. I don't make tens of thousands of dollars a month, and I don't get food stamps. All right. And I see Javid wants me to check out Fred Durst's Zeppelin cover. All right, we'll check it out right after I show a little bit more of this video.
I buy food stamps because in Black America, if a mom of 5 has 5 children and she got all these fucking food stamps every single month, well, she may not use all those food stamps, so I could come buy $200 or $300 worth of food stamps for half price. Now, what does this mean for everybody else that does not make tens of thousands of dollars every single month?
You food stamp hating assholes is really starting to make my hemorrhoids itch. How you gonna be mad at somebody for being on food stamps and getting a couple snacks? You don't know their grocery schedule. Sometimes I will go and get all the stuff that I need for my house, my canned goods, my vegetables, my milk, my cereal, all that sort of stuff, and then I'll get to the house and realize I ain't got none of the snacks that I wanted. And I'll take my big busted can of biscuit ass up there and get me a pack of Oreos, some ice cream. Everything I get is basically sugar free, but I get all that stuff and I come back home. You gonna be
everything she gets sugar free, including her nose ring. She take her busted can of business ass. What did she say? Busted can of biscuit ass to the stove, and she be getting sugar free shit. That's why she looks so good. That's why she keep herself in such great shape, because she be eating sugar free and whatnot.
looking at my cart like, damn, she got sodas and chips and all kinds of stuff in there. Show the fuck do. I was on food stamps when I was younger. I'm not judging them. You know why? Because I know how to mind my own motherfucking business. Y'all not worried about how the Congress is still getting paid, even though the government shut down. Y'all not worried about all the research studies that they do on fucking erections and old people and like and mice and shit. You not worried about where your tax dollars going to that. How you gonna be mad that Miss Becky and her construction husband and her convenience store job with their 6 kids is they over there doing their very best, but they need a little bit of assistance? How you gonna be mad at them for having Medicaid and food stamps?
Yeah, how you gonna be mad? You don't be caring about erections and mice and shit. You don't be caring about this. You don't be caring about that. How you gonna be caring about this, man? Yeah, y'all don't even know what's up. All right, wonderful. So those people are going to be real happy come November 1st, right? And it's, of course, the government's responsibility to make sure that they have all the Kool-Aid that they need for them and their kids, right? It's the government's responsibility to make sure that they got nacho cheese Doritos up in their stomach and whatnot. And if the government don't give them what they need, they gonna go to Walmart and they gonna steal some shit. That's what's up. And if you see them stealing shit at Walmart, you need to look the other way and don't snitch. Otherwise, they're going to call their cousin Pookie and Ray Ray to whoop your ass. So don't even think about snitching like a bitch. Know what I'm saying? All right. Looks like we got a request for Fred Durst's Zeppelin cover. Bro, why do you care about Fred Durst so much? All right, so we got a request for a Fred Durst song. Gonna get me copyright struck. Is what you're gonna do.
The Chevy Colorado.
If the sun refused to shine, I would still be loving you. The mountains crumble to the sea. There will still be you and me. And so today my world smiles. With your hand in mine, we walk the miles. Thanks to you, it will be done. For you to me are the only one. You're the only one.
I honestly would rather hear him sing a regular Limp Bizkit song than to do any of these covers. Like, I'm just not into slow, sappy, acoustic versions of songs like that. So personally, I'd rather hear him just do his regular Limp Bizkit shit in his regular voice than I would to hear any of that. So, yeah. So Javid says, I got popular in high school freestyling to beatbox and beats using pens on tables. Now I trip with former famous monkeys. It's been a hell of a life, hasn't it, Javid? Right? So you would like do you do freestyling and beats, right? Right. Just waking up in the morning, gotta thank God. I don't know, but today seems kinda odd. No barking from the dog, no smog, and mama cook a breakfast with no hog. I got my grub on, but didn't pig out. Finally got a call from a girl I wanna dig out. Hook it up for later as I hit the door, thinking, will I live another 24? I've gotta go, cause I've got me a drop top, and if I hit the switch, I can make the ass drop. Had to stop at a red light, looking in my mirror, not a jacker in sight. And everything was all right. I got a beat from Kim, and she can fuck all night. There you go. There's me freestyling some Ice Cube while banging the pen on the desk. Pretty impressive, huh? Yeah. Pretty fucking awesome what I just did. Probably more awesome than what you used to do in high school. I know. All right. We got another one from Javid. Javid. I call you Javid, even though I know your name is Javid. I don't know why I do that. NWA Straight Outta Compton movie released in 2015. Suge Knight killed someone on set. It's why he in jail now. I think you'll like the movie. I stopped liking movies after like 2010. So by 2015, I had already given up on movies. So yeah, pretty much if I'm going to go back and watch a movie, it has to have come out prior to 2010. And there were a lot of movies about rappers and stuff that they remade, you know, like a Tupac movie and a Straight Outta Compton movie and all that stuff. And I think they had one where like Ice Cube's son played the part of Ice Cube and shit. Yeah, I never watched any of those movies. Don't really have much interest. I'd probably be more interested to go back and watch a NWA documentary, but NWA was an industry planted rap group. So there were like rich Jewish men at the top of those record labels, paying these black men pennies on the dollar to turn their own culture into a culture of thugs and criminals, right? So through the music that they promoted in the early 90s, mid 90s, the gangster rappers, it was actually by design to turn black folks into career criminals, because the prison industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Believe it or not. Because before, black guys were carrying guns and being gangstas and stuff like that in their music videos. They were playing funk music and having dance parties. So if you go back and you look at the mid 80s, late 80s, it was like, you know, groups like Zapp and Roger, the Gap Band. So black folks were playing dance music and they were performing it. They would have a full band, guitar, live drums, bass player, and they would play dancing songs, funk music and whatnot. And people would get together and smile and dance and party. So I prefer what black people were doing before the gangster rap as far as like making good music is concerned. Like I really dig some of the funk music from the 70s and 80s. I like Zapp and Roger is a great example of like music that made people happy and they would dance. And so people would show up to a Zapp and Roger show and they would dance. And it wasn't like, you know, hood rat, shake your fat cottage cheese ass on some guy's crotch type dancing. It was like regular dancing, right? So black folks used to create fun music that would get people clapping and dancing. And then in the early 90s, they did the switcheroo and started pushing gangster rap and rapping about violence and killing people, right? Killing cops even. So it was all by design. And there's some rich Jewish men who had their finger in the black man's music. Lemming in a shiny metal box said, Sir Jake, love the previous Darius M reference. Any opinion on Australian YouTuber Carl Jobst? I don't even know who he is, bro. Carl Jobst. I can look him up real quick since you're sending the super chat. I can just see what sort of stuff he posts. Right off the the bet I see 1 million subs. They usually don't let people get 1 million subs if they're pushing truth. 187 videos and he got over 1 million subs, huh? Looks like he's got video game content. These speedrunners were accused of cheating. Yeah, I've never watched this guy. Never heard of him, never seen him. Forcing speedrunners to actually 100% doom for the first time. So he makes video game content, it looks like. Maybe not all video game content, but a lot of these are video games. And then calling out people who cheat at video games. Is this the guy? Doesn't look like anything I would watch. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know about this channel. The content isn't really anything that I would normally watch. Here he's got 1 million views on Elon Musk cheating scandal, but I'll bet you he doesn't say that Elon Musk is a figurehead and a made-up character on the world stage. I doubt he says that. Yeah, never seen him. But since he's got 1 million subs, I'm going to say he's probably a shill. When in doubt, just assume they're probably a shill. And Javid says, the Tupac movie was trash. The Ice Cube son playing Ice Cube is the 2015 NWA movie. Yeah, I remember hearing about it, but I didn't watch it, I don't think. You know what? I think I was working with somebody in 2015. In 2015, I was still working with people who had disabilities and stuff. And sometimes there'd be other staff members who I'd work with. And I think someone else brought that movie to work one day and had it on. There was like, there were these disabled dudes who like lived in this one house. And so me and another staff member would go there and cook dinner for them and help clean up their house and shit. It was like a job that I had back then. So I think there was a guy who brought that movie and put it on. So it's like I kind of remember some scenes from that movie, but I don't actually remember sitting and watching it. Now that you remind me that Ice Cube's son was in the movie. But yeah, it was a long time ago, so I can't really recall anything from the movie. I probably didn't pay much attention. All right, I've been on here for 3 hours. I should probably wrap it up. Looks like we're starting to lose some of the audience as well because it's getting late over on the East Coast. So I should probably wrap it up. But before you guys go, do what Davey D says. Smash the like button. All right, I think I'm caught up on super chats. Javid's here. Javid sent one last super chat. Said, bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm getting tired, getting hungry. Got to take my dog out for a walk. Thank you guys for hanging out with me on a wonderful Wednesday night. We had a bunch of super chat love tonight. Thank you very much, Javid, for all the super chats you sent. You sent probably like, I don't know, 10 different, maybe 12 super chats tonight. Really appreciate it. Also had super chats come in from several people tonight. So tonight was a success for our for moving the stream from Tuesday to Wednesday. Seemed like it went pretty well tonight. So thank you guys for hanging out. And if you haven't watched my top 10 most rigged plays of the week video, go watch that. And I will catch you guys in the next stream or the next video. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. Peace out. Good night. Love you guys. Bye-bye.